The I Ching is a living transmission of the divine, of consciousness. The I Ching, the Book of Change, is a map of the 64 changing cosmic frequencies of life, of consciousness. This is an ancient wisdom from thousands of years ago that was used to track and harmonize with the forces of nature in order to guide the people, an empire, a civilization. In the 1960s, humanity discovered the 64 genetic codons, our DNA. Magically, they have the same mathematical formula, the same exact geometry as the 64 I Chings. Every 6 days, the sun activates one of these 64 I Ching frequencies, which activates within us a corresponding genetic codon, which stimulates our consciousness, the theme of the life. When we enter into contemplation with a particular I Ching, especially with the I Ching the sun activates each week, then life sends us the experiences we need to unlock the shadow, which raises our vibration and awakens the divine within. The intention of this video is to serve you in the highest blessed way. This is abstract energy of sensing, so receive this message with your heart and body. This week, the sun within us, consciousness, life, activates the 42nd I Ching. The transformational path of this frequency moves us from the shadow of expectation to the highest vibration of celebration, and it's through the path of detachment. This 42nd transformational path is of the Buddha's path. By this I mean there are strong aspects of the teaching here of the Buddha. Here we have the codon ring of life and death, the teaching about living and dying, birth and death, all the great human dramas, you name it, it's here in the 42nd I Ching. So here we have the shadow of expectation and the dilemma of disappointment. You see, it's all about life as a story and our attachment to that story. At the shadow frequency, we're so involved in our story that we identify fully with our character and the cast in life. Think about your cast, the crew, the family, your friends, your lovers, all those people, good or bad, help shape the life. Think about all your disappointments and all your regrets. Think about the hurt you may have caused others at times. Think of all the paths that didn't really turn out the way you would have wished. And if you're young, think about the future. Think about your future. Do you have dreams and aspirations? How attached are you really to those outcomes? None of this is wrong. It's all part of the human drama. If you have the 42nd I Ching in your energetic design, then you are here to get to know deeply the human drama. And the central player in this drama is the same for all of us. It's death. All roads lead to death. This I Ching is all about our relationship to death. The Eastern cultures have a huge advantage to us because they've figured out the secrets of incarnation or reincarnation. It's part of their culture. And this makes a huge difference in the drama and our relationship to it. Because if you know you're just an actor in this great film of life, and that you will return again to play another role in another play, then detachment is so much easier. And without this key insight, you really are kind of in a tight corner. If you believe, as the materialists, that when you die, then that's it, well, that's rough. This could lead to one of two possibilities. You either make the very most of every single moment and you create life as a work of art, a life dedicated to beauty and love, a beautiful, rare life. Or the other side, you decide to be selfish and decide to go out there and get what you want for yourself because there isn't anything else. The first one is pretty rare. The second is the hallmark of the modern worldview. We all have hope. We begin life with hope. Hope can be a beautiful thing until the mind gets a hold of it. Hope is the energy of evolution at work within us, the impulse to improve life, to help others. But when the mind starts to shape that hope to specific ambitions and ideas, and then those outcomes don't play out the way we wished, it creates huge disappointments. And then disappointments can then become a worldview. The world is filled with disappointed people who have stopped trusting in life, in their heart, and in others. And we really see this in our relationships. We have this romantic dream of the one perfect partner. It just never seems to line up to that dream. And so as we get older, we tend to give up on our dreams and we become a victim of fate. There are two levels of victim here. First, you just let life pummel away until you have given up on all your dreams because nothing works out the way your heart really wishes. And second, you assume the belief that you're in control of life and you can make it move in the direction of your dreams through force of will. Both paths, unfortunately, are doomed to disappoint because whichever way you turn, you will find disappointment. I know it sounds depressing, but that's the shadow. We get hooked to the drama. But you know what? It's all for a higher purpose. Expectation and disappointment are for a higher purpose, and that purpose is to teach us to let go. The 42nd gift, the way to alchemize the shadow and raise the vibration, detachment. The gift of detachment is a huge, huge gift. It may not sound like an average genius, but I can assure you, it's powerful. No one has managed to unlock their genius without this quality. If we define genius as the creative explosion that comes from an open heart, you will see the uplift that comes from this gift. To be detached means not to worry about outcomes. It means we begin to trust in life, in the experience of being alive. At the shadow, you're not trusting in life. We're basically hoping that things go the way our mind wants. But at the gift level, you learn to surrender to life, to divine will, a huge difference. This I Ching touches on the subject of free will, that life is yours to do with as you wish. It's an open book that you write your story in. So you set off to create a life, but a funny thing happens along the way. It never turns out the way you intended. Why do you think that is? Because unpredictable events happen. People let us down, disappointments. And if you're listening to life, we learn to let go of our expectations, but we never let go of our hope. This is detachment. Detachment actually begins to open up the heart. It sounds like it would make us more distant, more detached. But it doesn't mean that at all. We begin to accept life. We begin to realize that life knows what's best for us. And then when we hit a big obstacle, instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we see it as an opportunity for growth. That's the gift of detachment. It turns shadows into gifts. We begin to realize that in the drama of life, there's a beautiful choreography at play, beyond our control. And if we surrender, life gets easier, even mysterious and exciting. Isn't a life where you're not in control more exciting than a life where you are in control? If you go to the movies and you know what is going to happen, where is the adventure in that? Much better to let go. And the gift of detachment becomes a master at letting go. To do something with detachment is to move into a deeper flow with universal intelligence. It's to move into harmony with the greater pattern. It allows us to adjust instantly to unexpected change and flow. It allows us to really enter deeply into our mortality, into the bittersweet moments of life. You begin to become more and more fearless and trusting in the great flow. And this is the essence of the teaching of the Buddha, to let life pass you by, to become the witness to life, to simply sit by the river and watch the way it flows around you. And you become so soft on the inside, so yielding. And the more you evolve, the more feminine you become, the more receptive. Do you know what it means to be a feminine? It means you don't react to the drama. You don't fight with others. You become deeply soft. And this quality has sadly become lost to many women in the modern world. I too was once a fighter. Women have had it hard over the generations. They have had to dig deep into their psyche to find that yang, because they needed that yang to demand their independence, to protect their honor and dignity, to bring back the power of the yin, and that is beautiful. And the next stage is to soften, to return to the mother and the divine tenderness, because when a woman unites courage with that tenderness, she becomes whole again. Detachment means you even surrender your gender, man or woman. One day we transcend our gender and its issues and traps. There are layers and layers of attachments that we carry. So as you continue to let go of all attachments, your consciousness rises and the heart opens to wider and wider vistas. Imagine the heart being that open that even your issues of gender mean nothing to you. Detachment's all about desire. We have subtle layers of desire. We have to move through layer after layer and let go of each one of them. This is a beautiful way of being detached. You begin to use the props that nature supplies to increase your love. The gift frequency has many layers of subtlety to it. When you reach the city, the highest vibration, it's basically an ending. The gift is a journey of refinement. And as you become more detached, you ironically become more playful with the Maya, the drama. You really engage with life and its richness. You become a whole human. Loving life, loving the mystery, loving whatever life delivers because you know it's for your highest purpose. And that's a magical stage to reach, to know that everything that happens is for your further refinement and you become a master of letting go and then nothing clings to you and you become more human, more joyous, more loving, and more compassionate. The 42nd city, the highest vibration, celebration. This city is a complete letting go. That is what initiation calls out of us. And there are levels of endings as well. Big endings is when we let go of death and dying. What is interesting, we're conditioned to typically celebrate something in the beginning and in the end. We don't typically celebrate something in the middle. But this city is about celebrating in the middle. It's about every moment becoming a celebration, celebrating being alive, allowing life to be a work of art. This has everything to do with the breath. You can't be that present in each moment without being deeply relaxed in the body. Your breathing comes from the depths of your belly without any resistance, which means we have to let go of all the fears, one by one, until there are no more fears left in our system. Can you imagine that? Imagine the body without any fears, permanently. It's possible. Close your eyes and imagine what that may feel like. The celebration is an end to death. Your spirit has finally been released by its self-imposed prison. It's like a cosmic punchline to a great cosmic joke. Celebration always comes with laughter, the laughter of relief, release, utter joy. We have surrendered everything. It's the second birth, born again, a complete rearrangement of your atomic structure. There are no endings. We celebrate our story. All the twists and turns, the shadows, the gifts. Celebrate being alive, the end of suffering, the end of time, the forever now. I empower you this week to create space, get to higher awareness, notice your thoughts, feel all the sensations fully that come up in the body. Shine the light of awareness to any expectations of outcomes or disappointments. Be with it for as long as needed. Feel it deeply from within. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember, love yourself and choose to be blessed.